What's up, guys? I don't know if you guys can hear me okay, but I'm walking across the street, but I thought I would talk to you guys about something that I just saw in the media that was reported in the press. Vicky Dillard on Fly Nubian Queen TV is talking about it, and it has to do with an admission by Cardi B, you know, the well-known rapper. And her admission was that she, for many years, she says that when she was struggling for money, she would rob men by basically drugging them. Like, she would drug them, and she didn't rape them, and like Bill Cosby is accused of doing, but she would rape their pockets, right? So she would go out and I guess find men that were looking to have sex, and she would drug them, and while they were drugged, she would steal their money. And of course, there's been a reaction on social media with different opinions, and I kind of want to provide a perspective on it, to kind of maybe help us analyze and understand this and why these remarks are significant. The first thing is, I think it's a warning to men. I think it's a warning to, you know, to men, especially the brothers out here. You know, don't go trusting a big butt and a smile. I told you, some of these women are predators, you know, and some people got mad at me. I wrote an article about it. I wrote an article where I basically said, you know, sorry, I'm back. I was telling men in an article, I said, be careful, because if you're sleeping around with a bunch of different women, because you might be getting a wolf in freak's clothing. She might be looking good and looking pretty and be trying to like drug you and do the same thing to you that a man would do. The only difference is that women don't have to go steal sex. Women don't need to steal sex. That's why the Me Too movement doesn't typically take down women. It only takes down heterosexual men, because men really, really want sex. Women don't have to even hardly ask for it. Men are offering them sex all day long. So basically, women like a Cardi B, they're not going to rob you by taking your sex. They're going to take your money. And so I just tell these brothers, and I've heard stories about that, about women using date rape drugs. And the reason this slips under the radar is because people believe a false narrative that women are always innocent, that women never lie, that women always tell the truth, that women can't be scandalous, that women can't be predators, that women can't be liars, that they can't go out and harm people, that they can't go out and do some of the horrible things men can do. And that's just not true. Anybody who knows men and knows women knows that there are dirty ass, lying ass men. There are dirty ass, lying ass women. And I don't understand why they can't get that through their thick head. Now, the second thing about this is you can't help but to think about the irony that Bill Cosby, you know, was dragged through the mud. He didn't even make a confession. Bill Cosby, all he did was just, you know, people said that he did it, and he said, I didn't do it, but they didn't believe him. So he's now in jail. And all he was accused of doing was touching a woman's boob. If you ask me, you know, which would I rather have, to be touched in my, you know, genitals, or to have somebody take, you know, hundreds of dollars out of my pocket, I would let you touch my genitals. Right now, I'm not trying to say it's okay. None of it's right. But I'm just trying to say that there's levels to this shit, and they don't act like there's levels. I'm curious to see how people are going to react to this. And I bet you anything that first thing they're going to do is they're going to let her make an excuse. So she's probably going to come up with some white woman's tears, because, you know, they let pretty much all these Me Too stuff, all this Me Too stuff is pretty much designed to take down black men, heterosexual black men, and also powerful heterosexual males, right? Who have sex or whatever, right? Or who are accused of doing whatever. So they're gonna let her come out. She's gonna cry. She's gonna give an excuse. And I think she already gave an excuse. One of her excuses was, well, it was hard for me back then. I didn't have any options. And you even have people falling for that shit. You know, you have people falling for that, right? You have people out here saying, yeah, well, you know, she didn't have any options, so that's her past, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, maybe Bill Cosby could say, you know, I was really horny and I didn't have any options. And so, you know, I had to do what I had to do. Right, I had to do what I had to do because I really wanted sex and nobody was offering me sex, and it just drove me crazy. So I had to go and do it. Right, that's stupid, right? That's a stupid excuse, right? You can't. excuse the idea of you robbing people, like drugging and robbing people. You got people who trust you. They're engaged in some transaction with you. You know, maybe she was a hooker. Maybe she was just offering sex for free, whatever it is. And they were like, hey, let's go have sex. And you drug them and steal their money. You know, so I'm sitting there trying to understand, you know, if a man made a confession like that, that's all I want to ask y'all. If a man made a confession like that I used to drug women and take whatever I wanted, do you think that they would give him a little scrutiny? Do you think that a man who confesses to drugging women and taking advantage of them, do you think that he might get a little pushback? You think they might actually go investigate a little bit? Do you think that they might try to mute him or cancel him like they've done with R. Kelly and Michael Jackson and Bill Cosby and all these people? I mean, seriously, Bill Cosby, you can't even damn near watch the Cosby Show no more. I'm like, what do these charges have to do with the fact that the Cosby Show is a good damn show? You know, seriously. So I think that with the Cardi B thing, I think it's an example of a double standard. I think the way people are reacting and the way you're going to see people reacting is they're going to give her an excuse, because we have a society where, unfortunately, we got to the point where women, especially white women, are allowed to excuse anything that they do, any terrible thing, any stupid thing, whatever. They're allowed to just make up a reason why they did it wrong or didn't do it or did something illegal, and everybody forgives. Like all the ladies, all those dozens of women who claim that Bill Cosby did whatever to them, not one of them filed a police report. And people were like, well, why didn't you file a police report? Why are you asking me that question? You have no right to ask me that question. You should believe women. Well, no, but you have to file a police report if there's a crime. Well, because I was so fractured and so frazzled and I was crying that day, and it just was so painful. No, because you was a gold digger like a Cardi B. You was trying to rape that nigga's pockets. That's what you was doing. You was trying to get up in Cosby's money, and you were okay with that shit. Whatever freaky shit you and Bill Cosby had going on that involved sex and roofies and chinchillas and Dragon Ball Z and Hamburger Helper, whatever the fuck you and Cosby were doing, you were down with that shit. And now you're trying to come back 30 years later and use white woman privilege to somehow get us to believe that you wasn't down with this shit from day zero. Seriously. Like you know, so my point is, like, the Cardi B thing, to me, it is, if anything, right? I don't care if you're not comparing, if you say, well, no, it's different. Raping somebody versus stealing their money is different things. Yeah, those are different crimes, but they're still crimes. You still took something from somebody. You still took advantage of somebody. Again, you can't always assume that sexual assault or touching somebody or groping somebody is always worse than taking their money, because when you make that assumption, what you're doing is you're automatically convicting men and you're letting women off the hook, because women don't rape. Women don't rape the way men do, you know, and rape is not a good crime, right? Rape is not a crime. I mean, it's a bad crime. It's a terrible thing, right? It's a horrible concept, right? So the reason that men are the ones going down through the Me Too movement is because they've decided that sexual assault or groping, inappropriate touching, is a type of crime that is over there by itself, and there is no crime that women might typically commit that would be even considered equivalent or even in the realm of what touching or groping somebody or assaulting them might be. So there's really nothing that Cardi B could have done to these men, nothing that she could have done to them that would put her in the same category as a Bill Cosby. Nothing, because she does not have a dick. So the ultimate crime in most of this, in this society right now, is having a penis, right? You can't, because if you don't have a penis, then you're not going to be touched by the Me Too movement, because of course you can't commit a crime because you're not a man, right? So what I'm trying to say here is this. Look, let's all agree right now that rape is wrong. Let's all agree right now that to prove sexual assault or groping or whatever, you need some kind of proof. You can't just go make an accusation and just hope and just assume that people are going to believe you because you're a woman, right? So let's assume that that's wrong. Now, my question becomes, what is it in our society that women might do, a woman could do to a man that would be considered to be just as wrong? What is it that a woman can do that would get her treated the same treatment as a Bill Cosby? My answer is pretty much nothing. There's almost nothing, there's almost no crime you can think of that is typically committed by a woman that would get the person the same treatment as a Bill Cosby or as an R. Kelly or as a Michael Jackson or whatever. There's really nothing. There's, you know, it's very rare when you hear about women getting arrested for sexual assault. Usually women, lying ass, dirty ass, scoundrel ass, predatory women, they won't usually take your dick. They're not going to take sex because they don't have to. They're going to rape your pockets. That's what they do. That's what that's what the female Bill Cosbys do. The female Bill Cosbys are not going to take sex from you. They're going to take your motherfucking money. And so to me, I see, you know, this situation, and I guess, and you know, honestly, I'll tell you the truth. I had, a long time ago, I had a relationship with a woman who took my wallet while I was sleeping. It was a girlfriend. It wasn't even like a girl I just met, because I didn't run around with different women like that. I had known this girl, and we were about to break up. And she knew that there were things I did for her financially that she wouldn't be able to do on her own. So while I was sleeping, she took my wallet. And she took my wallet and used my credit card and spent a bunch of money on my credit card. And I called the police when I found out. And you know what happened? The police just laughed at me. They literally laughed at me because they assumed that I must have been asking for it, that I somehow put myself in that situation, that I almost deserved it, or that I was making it all up, or that I was just mad and trying to get revenge. And no, I was like, she fucking robbed me. And now if I was calling you, if I was a white woman calling and saying some guy, you know, that some guy that I was getting drunk with and high with and having sex with raped me, you'd be all over that shit. But the fact that she robbed me, you laugh at me? Are you kidding me? So I think that, you know, that those who are victims of crime, I think, can relate to this, that, you know, these scandalous, I think it's not so much that people can't identify with the idea that, you know, that sexual assaulters are bad people. We know that they are. I hope that there's no rapists in the room. I'm not going to support you. I think that what people are saying is they're saying, wait a minute, what about us? You know, what about when, you know, when we're running into these scandalous ass predatory women? Like, you tell the narrative all day about predatory men. Where are the stories about the predatory women? Well, if you want to see a story about a predatory woman, you need to look no further than the situation with Cardi B. That's what a female Bill Cosby looks like. That's what she is, a female version of Bill Cosby. Because again, a female Bill Cosby ain't gonna rob you for your sex. They're gonna rape your damn pockets. So anyway, that's it. I just personally think that she should go down for this, or be dealt with for this. I think that people should investigate if they, you know, if they want to mute her or whatever, they should. But they're not going to do any of that. They're going to let her make an excuse and say, oh well, she needed the money, so that's why she was out raping people's pockets, because she needed the money. Well, you know, if black men could get away with making as many excuses as white women and all these, you know, feminists can make, then, you know, shit, it'd be an easier country to live in. Because there's at least 1,000 things a black man can get locked up for that nobody else can ever get even charged with. And I think that that's the injustice that exists in this country, and I think it's nonsense. So am I annoyed by this? Yes, I am. Very annoyed. So I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you later. Have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button, please. Please hit the thumbs up button. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.